ongoing part. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Liu. May I now call Mr. Sifra for his discussion on existential freedom of the human person. Sir Vincent.
Thank you, Miss Nadine. Okay, thank you also, Miss Liu. Part 2, existential freedom. For this part, let me share some views on human nature as free by 3 philosophers from 3 different centuries: Lao Tzu, Rousseau, and Nietzsche. Particularly, we would like to discuss here existential freedom. Okay. In consideration of the self. When we say social freedom, that's in consideration of the other. When we say existential, in consideration of the self. When we say divine, in consideration of a supreme being. So, those are the perspectives we decided to discuss on. Okay. For this slide, let us examine the views of Lao Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher who, according to some sources, was born in the 6th century BC. He is well known for the Tao Te Ching or Tao Te Ching. One of my sources is the work of Eric Goodfield, entitled, and I quote, the title is Wu Wei, East and West, Humanism and Anti-Humanism in Taoist and Enlightenment Political Thought. The reference is there on screen at the lower right corner. For Lao Tzu, we are a contradiction. We are a contradiction. We are born as such. In connection with this idea, let me cite Goodfield on page 60. He said, and I quote, "In so doing, it, the Tao, rejects binary logics that would assert a law of non-contradiction, exclusively so that A is both A and not A simultaneously." End quote. Here, Lao Tzu is pertaining to a duality in humans. Our appetites are a mix of what can destroy us and what can flourish us. Were we not, after all, born to just die? The Tao is a way. This means that humans, though finite, cannot be things. We cannot be things. We cannot be fixed points. Rather, we are events. So that's an interesting interpretation of human nature, or idea of human nature, that we are events. We happen to each other. We are a process. We are constantly moving. We are constantly on the way. In connection with this, let me cite Goodfield on page 66. And I quote, "In Graupes terms, even humans are considered as events rather than things or beings in the ongoing processual life of the great Tao." End quote. We are so free in Lao Tzu's view that we have become events instead of just things. We are a becoming. Our freedom is, however, threatened by desires. Desires. If we are not content, we become slaves of our desires. These desires are the roots of conflicts, of human degeneration. If we live simply, contently, humbly, if we do and desire less, if we do less and desire less, we actually do more for ourselves and humanity. This is the key to sustaining human nature's freedom. Wu Wei. Yun, Wu Wei. Wu Wei is the key. Wu Wei is the notion of non-action, which is an integral part of the Tao Te Ching. Okay. For this slide, let us look at the views of Jean-Jacques Rousseau on human nature as free. Rousseau, a French-speaking Genevan, was born in 1712, the 18th century. One of my references for this presentation is the work of Andrei Yastrzemski. The reference is there on screen. For Rousseau, we are born as savages. Savage. Human nature is savage. But this does not mean that we are bad. Okay. Interesting. We were born savages, but that does not mean that we are bad. In fact, human nature for Rousseau is good because our savagery also includes pity, awa, pity. One of our most natural instincts is to feel pity toward another being that suffers, e.g., a suffering baby, a tortured innocent, a grieving mother, a lady that was raped by a drug addict, the victims of the Holocaust, etc. We pity because we are good. Our savage nature pertains to our being born free from the impositions of society. Yun. This does not remove the goodness in us. This state is what Rousseau calls state of nature. State of nature. To proceed in life, to learn, to grow, etc., while doing our best to be closest to our state of nature is natureism. Natureism. We are born free. We are born as savages. But because we have to proceed in life and we have to be members of communities also to survive, we have no choice but to learn as members of a commune, but as close as we can to the state of nature. And as a result of this nature education, that's nature education, we become noble savages. Freedom plus education equals noble savagery. This is the transformation of our savage freedom into noble freedom. Yeah, that's Rousseau. Now, let us look at another philosopher's view on human nature in connection with freedom. This is Friedrich Nietzsche. He was a German philosopher who was born in 1844. This is already the 19th century. One of my main sources for this presentation was the article by Lawrence Hattab entitled Nietzsche, Nihilism and Meaning. The reference is there on screen. These are some of Nietzsche's thoughts on the matter. Okay. The human was born a slave. Slave. We were born slaves because we were born surrounded by fictions, by illusions. We were born in a cage. The jail bars of this cage are the fictions of God, fictions of religion, fictions of nationality, fictions of tradition, fictions of the herd mentality. Kasama na sa herd mentality, we can include in herd mentality the concept of a nation, being a Filipino, being a German. That's why he was really misinterpreted by the Nazis, because the Nazis wanted to use his ideas for German supremacy. But Nietzsche was against the idea of one nation. He wanted to just be labeled as humans. So no Filipino, no German, human, all too human only. And herd mentality, etc. In connection with this idea, okay, this is about Nietzsche's nihilism in connection with human nature. Let me quote Hattab on page 103, and I quote, "Any attempt to describe human nature in purely positive terms, whether it be an enduring soul or material states or a set of faculties, etc., cannot capture the negativity so evident in our existence." End quote. Let me add on the same page, and I quote, "In light of an existential perspective, the self cannot be adequately described as a positive entity because being a human self is pervaded by negativity." End quote. But don't lose hope. There is hope. Let me quote Hattab again, and I quote, "But such a conclusion does not entail a threat to human meaning. Rather, it articulates the way in which meaning is disclosed in the world through the tension of finitude." Tension of finitude. End quote. Ano yan? What is that? What is the tension of finitude? This simply pertains to life. Buhay, life. Our finite lives. In this life, or existence, there are so many different wills, so many different experiences, so many different consciousnesses that interact with one another. This is the tension talked about by Hattab. This tension between wills allows us to learn, realize, relearn, revalue, unchain, etc. It is up to us to overcome these fictions in this tension process. It's a process. if we overcome, we become superhumans. That's his Übermensch. So can we overcome? That's the question. Can we overcome? Yes. Yes would be Nietzsche's answer, because to him, human nature also entails creativity. Creativity is an important part of Nietzsche's existential philosophy. We are by nature creative. Humans are creative. In fact, for him, not me, for him, we are so creative that we created so many illusions, including the illusion of God. But it is the same creativity that we can use to overcome these illusions, to be truly free. And the first step of this creativity towards freedom is nihilism or negation. Okay? There are two types of negation, the anti-human and the pro-human. But what Nietzsche is talking about is the pro-human negation. Negate the illusions to allow the superhuman to live. Okay. To summarize this part, my part, that part 2, for Lao Tzu, human nature is an event, a finite becoming fueled by contradictions. Okay. For Rousseau, human nature is positive savagery ennobled by nature education. And for Nietzsche, human nature is an experience of the self in becoming either a slave or a master. Okay. Now, for part 3 on divine freedom, let me call on Miss